Hello, this is David Benaim, and in this video I'm going to show you what is coming soon in Teams, Excel, Word, and PowerPoint. So let's get started. I'm using all these different sources to combine some ideas of what's going to be coming soon. So in Teams, we have a few items in the Microsoft 365 roadmap. Multi-window chat over here. We also have background effects in team meetings. And over here, we also have a raise your hand feature. So let me show you what those are like in Zoom because they currently exist in Zoom. Here I am in a meeting in Zoom. And as you can see, I am next to the Golden Gate Bridge. I'm not really there, but that's a virtual background. I can, if I want to, go here and choose a different one. And there's a couple of built-in ones there that you can choose. Works on mobile and on a web browser as well. So what is the raise hands feature? So I'm going to go to the other person in my call, which is this one. And I can click on the participants item and I can click raise hand there. So now the Thor participant has raised their hand. And let's see what that looks like in Zoom. I can see here Thor raised the hand. And if I open up the manage participants, I can see there that he has raised his hand, in fact. I can also kind of pop out the chat windows. They have said there's going to be multi-window support, as I showed you. So not entirely sure what that's going to look like. What I'd like it to be is something like this. When you share your screen, you could show something else and still get the chat window popping up so you could still see the chat there. So there is another couple of things from Teams that I want to mention. One of them is this one, which is saying that we'll be able to call or chat with a Skype consumer, anyone with a Skype personal account, directly from Teams. That is going to be pretty cool. And all of these things are actually coming out very soon. This is actually Q1 in 2020, which ends today, 31st of March, but they should be coming out very soon. All of the things I'll show you now have sort of been announced to be coming out soon, with the exception of this next one, but I do think that it's useful. So breakout room functionality. So I love this in Zoom. You can have breakout rooms where you can subdivide a larger meeting into smaller breakout rooms and then broadcast messages to them, reallocate people or automatically allocate people. This is as it's planned. All right, and now let me show you another Teams feature just through a video that Microsoft have released.
You have a lot of things to do, and your tasks are scattered all over the place. You have messages in Teams or Outlook that you need to respond to, and follow-ups for yourself in To-Do, OneNote, and Cortana. Meanwhile, your colleagues have assigned tasks to in Planner, Office documents, and other tools that they're working in. Keeping track of all your tasks can feel like a task itself. Wouldn't it be great if you could see all your tasks together in one place? Now you can in Microsoft Teams. Tasks in Teams combines the best of To-Do and Planner into one view, where you can create and manage all your personal and team responsibilities. The personal task list, powered by To-Do, is a running list of your tasks that no one else can see, like this reminder to submit an expense report. Your team lists, powered by Planner, show all the tasks that your team is working on together. You can manage large amounts of tasks in the new list view, or in other powerful planner views like boards, charts, and schedule. The Assign to You Smart List helps you keep track of what others need from you. And the Planned and Important Smart Lists combine your personal to-dos along with the tasks that you've been assigned, allowing you to manage all of your responsibilities, order by due date, or filter to ones marked important. Thanks to tasks in Teams, figuring out what to do next is one less task you have to worry about.
So here I am in Word Online. This is being launched first in Word Online, but then in Word Desktop as well, and Outlook Online and Desktop as well. So I have this thing called Editor. This is like a completely revamped and pretty cool spell checker, etc. So we've got our classics like spelling, where I can go between things. And it says what I've reviewed. It's kind of nice and animated. Grammar we're used to as well. But then it's got these refinements. So clarity, where have I been a little bit unclear, will be labeled as. I can choose to ignore it, or sometimes I will get suggestions. If I go to the next one, here I do have a suggestion. So instead of stating, I could say saying or telling. Some of these are a matter of opinion, and I often disagree with them, but they can be good to just look through. Where have I not been concise? Similar to, compared to, like, or as the same one. Reportedly planned instead of planned. It dislikes adjectives sometimes, so I call it's the de-lawyering mechanism. Formality, so you've instead of you have. What else have we got? Let's, just abbreviations there. Inclusiveness, I shouldn't use chairman, I should use chairperson. There's some other sort of obscure stuff. And vocabulary. This is using bad vocabulary and how I should say it. Then some cool stats, so readability and distinct words. If I point to that, it says that essentially I should aim for 60. That implies short words and sentences, and that's what people find easier to read. Distinct words means I've used a higher vocabulary. Here it's quite low because it's 1,400 out of almost 5,000 words. Although I will save myself and say that this is data that I copied from Wikipedia. Then here it says the time it would take to read and to speak. That's quite useful. And some more uncommon words here. So tangential, apparently that's an uncommon word that people might not know. And again, I can keep looking there. Scoundrel. I don't think they're that uncommon. Another preview feature in Word Online, which is coming to Word Desktop, is the ability to rewrite a sentence or a phrase. So I can start clicking on something, right-click, and choose Rewrite Suggestions. This is a preview. Look at that. And I can click on that to put that in there as well. So it's just a little bit of a way to give you a different way, an alternative way to rewrite it. So another thing that's come to the Microsoft Office Insiders last month is the ability to use gestures when you ink in Word. So you can, for example, cross this and then it would delete that paragraph. You can also do things like circle something to select words, just use this and then type over a word to insert it, add a new line, etc. And this can be a nice way to do stuff when you're on a tablet or on a mobile device to edit stuff. In all of Microsoft Office, you have the hex color value. Now, this just got introduced in February last month for Office Insiders. So it should be coming very soon to everyone else. And you can just put a hex code in there. Hex codes are used nowadays a lot more frequently than RGB, which Microsoft Office has always had. Even Power BI uses hex codes and not RGB. And because it's in one value instead of 3 boxes, it's much easier for copying and pasting. Going into PowerPoint, we are going to show you a couple more features. Synchronize changes whilst presenting. This is quite cool. I don't yet have this, so it's still coming soon for me, but I'll show you an idea of what it should be doing. So if I am in PowerPoint here, you can already have multi-user who are co-authoring the file, editing at the same time. And here I have the file open in 2 places. For example, here I can see this symbol that tells me that that person is in this sheet. And if I select this text and add new, then I go back to my other window and I can see that that has now added there. And it's showing me that this person, myself, David Benheim, is in this box. Now that's pretty cool. That's existed for a while in Word, PowerPoint, and Excel. But what's come to PowerPoint is the ability to be able to do this in slideshow mode. So if I go back to the other file, I could here go to presenter mode, and the other person could be editing this slide or a future slide whilst I'm presenting, which could be cool. It could have a number of use cases. For example, someone writing out in a future slide Q&A that they're collecting from the audience. You could also have a whiteboard where lots of people just draw or contribute to it at the same time. Like you have whiteboard in Teams. And then there is another PowerPoint feature called PowerPoint Live, which is really cool, again, especially for remote working, that is best explained in this video.
Giving presentations is crucial for educators, businesses, everyone. It can be one of the most important things you do. So you need all the help you can get. Live presentations in PowerPoint lets you engage with your audience better than ever before. When you start presenting, a QR code or URL lets the audience connect. This unlocks new features where they can follow along with the deck, navigate on their own, get back to the current slide quickly, and enable real-time captions or subtitles in their preferred language. Anyone in the crowd can review or follow along with what you're saying, aunque no hables el lenguaje. As you're presenting, you can see how many people have joined the live presentation. The audience can provide live reactions, which shows you how your presentation is being perceived, letting you adjust on the fly. After you finish presenting, the audience is prompted to provide their feedback on how you did, so you can focus on areas to improve. These features will help make your presentations more engaging and create a closer connection between you and your audience, giving you confidence to present better than you ever have before. Engage with your audience using live presentations in PowerPoint.
Finally, PowerPoint has this thing called Design Ideas for a while, but now you can get it with video backgrounds, looping videos. Isn't that cool? It just adds this light and life to your presentation. So let's look at a little bit of stuff on Excel. Now we have for a while had the ability to add stock data. So I could, for example, go to Apple and Amazon and Microsoft and Google, and then I can select them, go to data and choose stocks. And then it could get the stock information. This is pretty cool. Then I can extract, for example, the stock price and some other features there. And I have another video explaining this more. It's a really cool feature, but it's a little bit limited. There is this thing in user voice that said started. So it says here, the current stock prices, the ability to access historic quote data is work in progress. So just to show you an example of what that might look like in Google Sheets. Here you can do it with currencies or also with stocks. So I could say, for example, equals Google Finance, and then ticker could be AAPL. Attribute, I could say price, and then start date, I could say 1st Jan 2009, and end date, I could say 1st Jan 2011. And then it's loading there. And it can get all of these prices using a dynamic array. So just one formula that you've seen me write is able to get that. You can even do these cool things in Google, like create trend charts for currencies and allow people to change the currencies there. But let's go to some other stuff that is here. So Excel has just very, very recently, about 2 weeks ago, rolled out this thing called the let function. And this is available for insiders, so this one should come out pretty soon. Let's see how that works. And actually, let's combine it with another function that's already come out for certain channels, but not all. So XLOOKUP. So let's say that I want to look up this value, but start here and work backwards. Previously, that was impossible with VLOOKUP, but XLOOKUP allows you to specify the lookup value, comma, the lookup array, F4, comma, the return array, that'll be, say, this one, F4, and then I can even have extra inputs, so if not found, I can put that in there. I can close my brackets, and that gives me the number of clients. Nice and easy, much better than index match. And now I'm going to get a total, pressing Alt equals, shortcut. And here I'm going to use let. So I could say equals let. And this is going to be total is the name. And then the value is going to be sum of these numbers. As we know, is 44, comma. Then I'm just going to say total plus 5. Close my brackets there. And this should be 49 because it's just total plus 5. So more advanced use case for this. Let's say you want to do some complex lookups. I could say equals let, and then I'm going to say sales means XLOOKUP, this province, in this lookup array, F4, comma, and then return the sales, F4, close my brackets for XLOOKUP, press a comma, and now I'm going to say if sales equals blank, then return 45. Otherwise, return sales. If there is nothing in the sales, no previous sales, then our target is going to be 45. So I can drag this down, and this last one, button bang, has a blank value, and that has replaced it with 45. So now let's look at this other feature called dynamic arrays. It's been released for some Office 365 users, but not all. So I'm just going to show you a quick rundown because it's really cool and revolutionary. So I could say here equals sales divided by clients. This is the traditional way of doing these calculations and then dragging it down. But with the new dynamic arrays, I could say equals all of this column divide by all of this column. Press enter, and then my answers come out here in multiple rows. Now it's grayed out, and the only one I can edit is the top one. Now, dynamic arrays was released with 6 new functions. I'm going to show you my favorite 3 very quickly. Equals unique, and just select this column. And if I want to, for example, change something else, it is dynamic. So I could change this to, for example, sports, and that adds it there as well. Or I could say here equals sort unique, and do this column, and it will do this the same, only sorted. I'm going to accept that correction. Next, the filter function equals filter. Give me all of these 3 columns where this column equals farming in speech marks. And now you just get all of them that are for farming. Now, if another one changes to farming, then I get a new entry here as well. And dynamic arrays also just makes other functions a lot easier. One that I love is the transpose function. Equals transpose, and then I can just say these 2 columns. And then it just sort of puts it there. Now, if you do have some text here, that is obstructing text. So I can, for example, have these 2. Then if I click in here, I can choose select obstructing cells, press delete, and then it comes back. So those are some cool features of dynamic arrays. I have another big video about it if you want to learn more. So we have this other thing that says create tasks in Excel, create and assign tasks to collaborators. And this is similar in Excel, PowerPoint, and Word. It's always in the Microsoft 365 roadmap. So I showed you the data types that were stocks, and geography has been in existence for a while as well. But Excel is introducing over 100 topics extra, including food, movies, places, chemistry, and even Pokemon. I'm not saying that a lot of these will be useful, but it could be kind of nice. For example, I think movies is something I would enjoy. Let's see an example of how that would look. So here, this is some nutrition values. You can put 2 pancakes in like a recipe or what you eat. And then it can tell you the calories, the carbohydrates. Pretty cool. All these different factors about that food type. And you can add new columns just like we saw with the stocks. If you click on that, then it expands for more details on the card itself. This thing called money. So you can connect to your bank account and then get your monthly snapshot, choose a different month, and it can refresh to give you more data. That looks really, really cool, actually. And this is a thing that just got announced today. So it's powered by a partner to connect to your bank and credit card accounts. But then it says money will start to become available in the coming months in the US first, as with a lot of these things. So if you're as excited as me, then please click the like button for all the cool stuff that's coming soon. And you can subscribe to my channel because I release tons of videos on Excel, PowerPoint, Power BI, Word, Outlook, Teams, all this good stuff.